Okay, we're looking at the market, and when we look specifically at the Nasdaq, you can see we're coming back into that key level, 1996. That has been the major level we've talked about for some time now. We zoom in here on higher time frames. You can see we were operating that basically all in the pre-market coming into today, and we had some really interesting movement to start the day. So when we go into something like the hour, you can really see you kind of get that pop back down into lows, and you go into ES and the S&P 500 specifically, and you broke back down. But something that I was kind of warning people about was this massive level that's coming into play now, which is right here, just a little SR flip, right? So previous resistance now turns support, right? The break, the retest, ultimately what you're getting. And if we look here on higher time frames like the daily, it's a phenomenal candle. Clearly buyers stepping in where they had to. And if you ask me in the beginning of the day, we go like to the 5-minute candle here, I would have probably told you it's going to be a terrible day. But a quick bounce, obviously stepping back into the market where they needed to. So that's what you really needed to see. Now, broad market, day trading this, absolutely terrible. I've been saying it. If you follow me on Twitter, I recommend doing so. I try to give you as much plays as possible, but I told you, if you're trying to trade this, you are a madman. I mean, this is literally the definition of terrible action to trade. This is on an hourly time frame. You're clearly sitting in a range. So you're not going to make your money when you're clearly just ranging like this. However, what I will say is going into the end of the day, there's a possibility that you're starting to break back out of this and buyers are trying to step back in. Okay, very important to understand that. Now, before we go too far, I do want to address the Israel-Iran situation. Today, we saw some upside because there was nothing really going on with that situation today. I think it's a win when Israel attacks Iran, whatever, you'll probably see some negative effects on that, on the market, okay? But I'm telling you, and I'll keep saying, I think it's a buy the dip circumstance. I think this is going to be your biggest and best opportunity if you're trying to buy into the market or find some value right now. Personal opinion, do with that as you please. So let's jump specifically into the Nasdaq and see. So you kind of ended the day just sitting at previous lows established from the 30th of September. Now, if we get above this level, which I anticipate we're going to get above this level in the pre-market, you see a break, a retest, a continuation, looking for 20,120 and then back into 20,055. Those are your big levels there. ES, in my opinion, is easier to look at here. Very, very simple. These are just some day trading levels I was watching. But again, looking at ES specifically, the number one level you're watching back here was around 57.55, which was right about there, which is a little SR flip from there, and you can see we kind of pinned there as well. And then from there, you're looking for 57.82 and 57.97. Now, where these levels come from, your previous all-time high in July, and then your previous all-time high when you broke out right here. So those are my two major levels right now. I would be willing to bet tonight in the pre-market or after hours, we push into 57.82 minimum. The reaction there will be key, and then also to what continues to come out of the Middle East. Again, we have to play it by ear. Those are the biggest things right now. A few things I do want to talk about. The Chinese names we've been kind of talking about are showing clear signs of continuation. I think Baba ended up at like 117 in the pre-market. Pinduoduo, Baidu, those are all very strong names. No, they're really just not slowing down whatsoever. The names that are really slowing down are more like tech and semiconductors that are really having some of the pain. Now, this is something else I wanted to talk about. I want to make very clear. I don't like to be the guy that jumps and says, okay, this is a head and shoulders. So I don't want to just jump and say that yet. However, I think tomorrow is very big implication-wise for semiconductors. If we start to reject from this level, which we kind of rejected here on the day, I want to make this very, very clear. If we reject here and continue pushing back down towards 239 and we break below 239, I'm extremely bearish on semiconductors at that point, and I would anticipate a pretty decent size, probably down to the 200 SMA, if we start to break below 239. Looking now, after hours, we're seeing bulls step back in, and again, the longer this pause goes on with Israel-Iran, the more bulls will step in, because right now the market is bullish. You need to understand that. Looking at rate cuts, looking at what's happening with the housing market, looking at what's happening with China, these are all bullish scenarios out there right now. Okay. The other part with Israel-Iran happening right now that we need to keep a close eye on, oil prices, U.S. crude oil. We've seen oil obviously dip to the downside. We saw this really nice pinch here, right, on crude oil dipping down. Now, the thing to look for now is reacting to the 71.76 level. Very, very, very important. So far, and it's just that previous low there, you are rejecting. That's very good to see, but you would like to see us continue to reject back to the downside. Again, as Middle East escalates and continues to be unpredictable, I anticipate oil to probably try to break this. Oil going up is bad for the inflation report. Oil going down has proven to be the biggest catalyst for continuation on the downside of inflation. So again, things I'm looking at, things I'm watching. If you have questions, comment down below what I'm watching for there. The DXY, again, uncertainty has pushed the DXY, a risk off indicator to the upside here. What's important to see here is even though DXY is going up, we saw a bounce in the market today. Worth mentioning, okay? And then we go into US 30-year yields and the 10-year yields as well. Again, bouncing so far. We want to see those get below 4%. As the market's unpredictable here, you're probably going to see sideways chop. But what did the Fed say again today? They predict a 0.25 cut in November, 0.25 cut in December. So in my opinion, I think you still assume rates continue on the downward path. The other thing that they were saying today too, what is the number one way to get the housing issue away? Build, baby, build, right? Again, another thing you're going to start seeing, builders getting more aggressive in the market, right? So things that you should be looking at and looking for. It's worth mentioning too, for everyone that's bearish on builders, I want to highlight right now, they're able to have different types of loans. You can Google it for yourself. Most people that are going with a newly built house, for instance, are getting a much better mortgage rate than going through a conventional type of loan, okay? So instead of getting the normal 6.5, for instance, I know someone here in Corpus, down in Texas, they got a new home, put 3% down FHA, and they were actually able to get, I think, the mortgage around 4.5%, worth mentioning. So again, things to consider what's happening there. I, again, don't need to really go too much into that, but I'm still very bullish overall on housing. So again, as we look at the stock market, as we look at ES specifically, incredibly bullish chart. Now, I haven't flipped necessarily bullish yet where I'm buying, calls across the board. But again, above these key levels here, 57.82, 57.97, I lean more bullish. NQ also getting above your key level, 19.96. That's what you needed to really hold above there. It was a little bit back and forth in the day, but again, at the end of the day, you ended up breaking, mounting, pushing back up. What you want to see. So going into tomorrow, we want to see this level break of 20,060 basically. Start pushing towards 20,025, ideally. Okay, and fingers crossed Israel won't start trying to do anything wild over there, okay? Now, stock-wise, what am I liking? Number one, ARM near 136. Let's talk about it. I've talked about this level a lot. At 136, I believe it is a buying opportunity. Below 136, it is a shorting opportunity. So to the downside, you go short. As long as you hold above 136, it's a long. Bada bing, bada boom. AMD, have to be watching this. You rejected off the 200 today, but if you can remount it, I'm bullish. Worth mentioning. NVIDIA getting back above 119. I would like to see us get back above locally, right about there, right above 121 roughly. Above 121, this can start moving back into 130. Would be watching that closely. Tesla, deliveries missed. I'm going to tell you right now, Tesla was a trade into 265. We mentioned it a lot. I'm going to tell you right now, unpopular opinion. If the robo-taxi event goes bad, mark my words, Tesla will be the best short opportunity in the market. I think until October 10th, be very patient now. Again, do what you want to do, but the risk to reward makes no sense going long on Tesla here anymore. Netflix above 711. You try to mount this basically for the remainder of the day. Netflix into tomorrow above 711.5 is a long. You love to see it. Google, as long as it's staying above 165, 164, you love what you're seeing here. Very bullish as well. The real level is 164, but this was the breakout that we traded to the upside to 168 that you love to see. Amazon has not been showing strength. Actually, one of the weaker names out there. Continuation has been pushing down to 182, then 180 overall. What I'd be watching for there as well. AVGO, one of the best semiconductors in the game. If you can get back above 173.5, it is a long back into 177 and into 180. Long. What I'd be watching for there as well. CrowdStrike, you started dipping here on the day, right? We came back down into our level we talked about, right? The SR flip right there, little trap back down into 273, bouncing back up. CrowdStrike above 284, long into the 200 SMA in my opinion. It's the number one cloud name. Apple, I like the downside here on Apple, potentially for the double top. Let's talk about this right now. 1, 2, 3 to the 4, right? What you're looking for in Apple, though, is a break below 224. If you break below 224, it's a short. Maybe the best short opportunity out there, down to 117 and 215, basically. So again, a few of the names that I'm watching right now, just running it through them as quickly as possible. Okay, this is really what you're watching for. Now, upside move for the Iran conflict. AWOL has been going absolutely crazy in Discord trading Exxon, right? Again, Exxon is thriving off this news. Exxon is getting ready to break all-time highs locally at 123. Exxon, CVX, these are all names you can try to trade going into this as well. DVN Devon, kind of beat up. Fang and Devon are more beat up names. West Texas oil names. But again, what I'd be watching for there, especially Fang, Diamondback Energy above 185. Understand that. If you have questions, comment down below. Home Depot, I've talked a lot about this. One of my favorite names. Someone commented and said, Tyler, I think builders are bearish. I said, go outside, stare at the sun, talk to me tomorrow. Home Depot, I posted this as well on Twitter. So if you're not following on Twitter, what are you doing? Again, break and retest of the 397 level. I have you pushing into all-time highs near 420. Watch this name for the breakout. Could go towards 450. Guys, also too, my day trading indicators are down below with Lux Algo. You're going to get all the indicators. We have our discount zones, premium zones. We also have our patented volume indicator as well for day trading. Make sure you tap in. All the indicators down below. These are from my day trading, so you never really see me post these too much on the videos. But again, what you should be watching. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, traders.